What happened inside Hulk Hogan's mansion wasn't just unexpected, it was unthinkable. The FBI's sudden arrival at his estate has left fans stunned and investigators speechless. What they found. It's not only shocking, it could change everything we thought we knew about one of America's most iconic figures. He was more than just a wrestling superstar. He was a symbol of strength, patriotism, and resilience. But on July 24, 2025, the world lost Terry Gene Bollea, better known as Hulk Hogan, at the age of 71. A heartbreaking end to a legacy that shaped generations. And yet, it's not just his death that's grabbing headlines, it's what followed. What began as a simple welfare check by his son, Nick Hogan, quickly spiraled into a nationwide investigation. It was a quiet Florida morning when Nick decided to stop by his father's mansion in Clearwater. His stepmother, Sky Daly, was away on a short wellness retreat. There was no reason to expect anything out of the ordinary. But what Nick discovered would shatter his world and ignite one of the most mysterious celebrity death investigations in recent memory. Inside the private home gym, once filled with echoes of training, discipline, and determination, Hulk Hogan lay motionless, unresponsive, lifeless. For a man who had battled legends, injuries, and even life's darkest chapters, this wasn't just unexpected, it felt wrong. Paramedics were rushed to the scene. CPR was attempted. But at exactly 11:17 a.m., the legend was gone. Initially, authorities believed it could have been a heart attack or stroke. After all, Hogan had lived a physically demanding life. But investigators at the scene immediately sensed something wasn't right. And they weren't wrong. The gym was unusually clean. Too clean. No scattered towels. No open water bottles. No disarray from a fallen man. One agent described the room as eerily sterile, almost staged. And more concerning? Hogan's top-of-the-line security system had been completely deactivated. No signs of forced entry. No evidence of hacking. It had been shut down manually. From inside. That one detail changed everything. The FBI was quietly brought in. And once involved, they moved fast. Forensics teams swept the house. Cybercrime experts began pulling digital footprints, search histories, smart home logs, call records. The deeper they dug, the stranger the story became. Then came Nick's revelation, something the public hadn't known. Just 24 hours before his death, Hogan received a phone call. According to Nick, it left his father visibly disturbed. "He wouldn't tell me what it was about," Nick said. "But I knew something had shaken him." That call couldn't be traced. It was routed through encrypted international servers. A ghost line. Someone didn't want to be found. The contents of that call remain sealed, but one thing is clear. The FBI now suspects foul play. What looked like a tragic health event is now being investigated as a possible homicide. The country mourned. Fans poured out tributes. Old matches resurfaced on social media. Stories of his kindness and resilience made headlines again. But behind the scenes, federal agents worked day and night. Something had disrupted the quiet, healthy life Hogan had been building in his final years. Something, or someone. And then the questions began swirling about his personal life. Sky Daly, his wife of 2 years, wasn't Nick Hogan's biological mother. And for many, that opened a door to re-examine the man behind the spotlight. The father, the husband, the human. Hulk Hogan's personal life was never short of drama. He married Linda Claridge in 1983 at the peak of his wrestling fame. Together they had 2 children, Nick and Brooke. The world got a glimpse into their glamorous lives through their hit reality series Hogan Knows Best. But fame often masks dysfunction. In 2007, their marriage came to a very public collapse after allegations of an affair with a woman who had worked closely with their daughter. That scandal shattered the wholesome image millions had bought into. Linda filed for divorce later that year. In interviews and his autobiography, Hogan denied the affair but admitted the emotional cost was devastating. He spiraled into depression. At one point he even considered ending his life. It was Layla Ali, his co-star on American Gladiators, who helped pull him back from the edge. In 2008, Hogan met Jennifer McDaniel. The relationship offered some healing and they married in 2010. For over a decade the two were inseparable. But in 2022 that chapter closed too. Their divorce was quiet, but telling. Hogan tweeted the announcement and soon after, a new name entered his life. A yoga instructor with a calming presence, Sky brought peace and spiritual renewal to Hogan's fast-paced world. They got engaged in July 2023 and married just 2 months later in a private ceremony. Hogan seemed different, grounded, focused, healthier. He was eating clean, meditating, and training smarter, not harder. Nick confirmed this shift in a recent interview. Dad was in the best mental space I'd seen him in years, he said. He was happy. At peace. So why, if everything was finally coming together, did it all end so abruptly? Sky's absence during his final moments only deepens the pain. According to family, he was counting down the hours until her return. Clearwater residents often spotted the couple walking on the beach, stopping at local cafes, laughing like high school sweethearts. Hogan's beachside merchandise shop had become a local hangout. He'd mingle with fans, sign shirts, pose for photos, and swap old wrestling stories. He was still a celebrity, yes, but now he felt like a neighbor, a mentor, a legend who had finally slowed down. And that's why the final 48 hours have become so critical to the FBI. The untraceable phone call. The disabled security system. The stage gym. No signs of injury. No drugs. Just questions, mounting by the hour. What was Hogan involved in? Had his past come back to haunt him? Or was this something even deeper, perhaps tied to a secret he never shared? Fans deserve answers. His family deserves closure. And Hogan, he deserves justice. We may never know the full truth about what happened in those final hours. But one thing is undeniable. Hulk Hogan's life wasn't just about showdowns in the ring. It was a life filled with highs, lows, reinventions, heartbreaks, triumphs, and resilience. He was a warrior, a father, a survivor, and above all, he was human. This investigation is far from over. But we'll be here, bringing you every verified update and breaking development as the story unfolds. 2 days before the world lost Hulk Hogan, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. In fact, everything felt like it always had, familiar, lighthearted, even joyful. Kevin Nash, Hogan's longtime friend and fellow wrestling icon, recalled trading jokes with him over text. They were chatting about a show, just riffing like they always did. There was no tension. No hint that something was wrong. Hogan, Nash said, was buzzing with energy. And then, just like that, the silence came. When the news broke, the response was instant and overwhelming. Outside Hogan's beachside shop in Clearwater, Florida, fans gathered. What started as a few people quickly grew into hundreds. They left flowers, candles, red and yellow memorabilia, and handwritten signs thanking the man who once made them believe they could do anything. One read simply, "Thanks for the strength, Hulk. You made us feel invincible." Another, "Hero. Always." It wasn't just grief. It was personal. For many, Hogan wasn't just a wrestler, he was a part of their childhood. A voice that told them to fight, believe, and never back down. But alongside the mourning came questions. Was it sudden? Was there a deeper issue? Was there more to the story? Just a week before his death, his wife, Sky Daly, had tried to calm the rumors. Social media was swirling with speculation, some claiming Hogan was in a coma, others suggesting something far worse. In a post, Sky made it clear, no, he's definitely not in a coma. His heart is strong, none of those rumors are true. It was an attempt to quiet the storm, but Hogan's long absence from public life had already ignited widespread concern. That concern only grew in June, when controversial radio host Bubba the Love Sponge made a stunning claim. Hogan had been hospitalized and the family was allegedly preparing for the worst. Panic exploded. Wrestling communities, fan pages, news feeds, everyone was bracing for the worst. But Hogan's team quickly clarified. Yes, he'd been hospitalized, but it was related to chronic pain from decades of physical punishment in the ring. Neck and back surgeries. The legacy of a career that demanded more from his body than most could endure. There was no coma. No secret decline. Just a man trying to recover. Still, in the weeks that followed, there were no new updates. No photos. No public appearances. Just quiet. Until the call came. And that's where the story shifts. Law enforcement isn't treating his death as ordinary. Too many things don't add up. The gym where he was found was eerily pristine, almost staged. Surveillance footage during the critical time frame had vanished. And there was a cryptic 30-second phone call moments before Hogan was discovered. The number was international, the origin unclear, and the voice still unconfirmed. Sources close to the case have shared that this wasn't the first strange interaction in Hogan's final days. His digital footprint is being combed through, browser history, smart assistant logs, encrypted messages. Forensic teams believe the truth could lie in metadata. What was clicked, paused, deleted. It's data that tells a story even when people no longer can. Meanwhile, his family is asking for space. His daughter, Brooke, released a short, heartfelt message. "We know our father touched so many lives. But right now we just need time to grieve. Fans have honored that, but tributes continue to pour in. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said it best. He wasn't just the foundation. He was the whole damn mountain. Outside his Clearwater shop, a mural has appeared. Hogan in a classic pose, arms flexed, head to the sky. Underneath it reads, "Whatcha gonna do, brother?" A symbol. A send-off. A reminder that legends never really leave us, they echo. So while the investigation continues and the silence lingers, what remains undeniable is Hogan's legacy. He wasn't just a man in the ring. He was the man who made it bigger than life. He told kids to believe. He told a generation that strength was something you carried inside. He made us believe in heroes. As the days pass, the mystery surrounding Hulk Hogan's final moments only deepens. While the public grieves, investigators continue working quietly, trying to piece together a timeline that refuses to make sense. The medical examiner's report, which was initially expected to bring clarity, has instead raised more questions than it answered. While it confirms the cause of death as cardiac arrest, it also notes unusual physiological stress levels that don't match someone who was reportedly calm and at rest. This has led some experts to speculate whether Hogan's passing was triggered by an external factor: stress, medication, even emotional trauma. But no one has found the missing link. Not yet. In the meantime, speculation has filled the silence. Some fans believe there's a darker layer beneath the surface, and conspiracy theories have erupted in the corners of the internet. From suggestions of a targeted attack to whispers of unresolved rivalries and business deals gone wrong, the narratives have taken a life of their own. Most of them are unfounded, but they speak to one thing clearly. People are not ready to accept that Hogan's end was just a tragic accident. There's too much history. Too much gravity. This wasn't just anyone. This was Hulk Hogan. His longtime allies in the wrestling world have started to speak out. Ric Flair, shaken and tearful during a podcast, said, "We fought, we competed, but we always had each other's backs." He was the last of the real warriors. Bret Hart posted a simple black and white photo of them from the 1980s, captioned only with the word brotherhood. Even Vince McMahon, notoriously private in recent years, issued a rare public statement calling Hogan the soul of an era that redefined wrestling and entertainment forever. As those tributes grow, so too does the demand for answers. Fans have begun organizing candlelight vigils in major cities: Los Angeles, New York, Toronto, even Tokyo. At each one, people gather not just to mourn, but to share their own Hogan story. A boy who overcame cancer while watching Hulkamania reruns. A single mother who remembered how Hogan's speeches on courage inspired her during the hardest years of her life. A veteran who said that Hogan's message of never giving up helped him survive the trauma of war. There's a deep, emotional truth in all this. Hulk Hogan wasn't just a performer. He was a beacon. A force of stability during chaotic times. His signature moves, his unmistakable voice, his dramatic stare-downs, they weren't just showmanship. They were storytelling. They were power. And now that power feels like it's been snatched away too soon. One final note is making rounds online. A voice memo, reportedly sent from Hogan to a close friend just 2 days before his death. In it he says, "You know, brother, I've been thinking. If this is my last ride, I want it to be something people remember. Not with sadness, but with fire." The authenticity is still being verified, but those words, if truly his, sum up exactly who he was. Fire, strength, and the eternal echo of a legend who never stopped believing in the fight. If you found this video compelling, informative, or eye-opening, do us a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dives like this, and share it with someone who grew up cheering for Hulkamania. We're just getting started. And trust us, what's coming next? You won't want to miss it.